UNICEF aid. Right, from last week, this is one cartoon. Excellent. Sums everything up. Right, I had this email. This is my last month subscribers, so I had 9 new ones. 2,573 views, which ain't bad for me. So Muddy Boots has got 10 times that. Also, I put this on last week, and see top left, no dig allotment UK.
Oh, nothing.
It's on quite a few groups.
Wonder what's gone wrong with
and
that.
add
Oh
this one back on this one. The compost we buy is really a good growing mixture of compost and soil. Your homemade stuff is all organic material and is probably unsuitable for growing into. I personally prefer to spread my compost as a top dressing. I never use compost less than 6 months old and usually around a year. I would not have thought a month old stuff would have finished composting. So I sent this photo of him. My unsuitable compost, pepper and potty. He never replied. There's quite a bit of this on the groups. Somebody asks a question and then somebody comes in. Well, I haven't really grown it myself, but I'd say, or I'd guess, if you ain't done nothing, don't open your wazzing any road. Somebody else I fell out with. Right, folks, this is what you sent me, Rowley, last week, in that order, 2 emails, and that's what they come out as sent. So I don't know what's happening. Worm wheel last week, Suzanne won, and I'll be getting one of them tomorrow in the post. And that one was to go into night's winner, but I've lost the worm wheel and I ain't got time to put it back on again. Always something. This should have been in last week when we had a committee meeting down the Chop House in Colligate. And Banks's beer, Banks's mild, I used to drink years ago.
Can you make it full? Can you make it full screen on the presentation? Because we can see all the slides at the bottom.
Sorry, mate.
There you go.
See how easy it is to forget things. Banks's mild, beautiful drink. Anson's another good one. And we noticed this last week. Beautiful drink, Boston. Right, how to get people to come to our show this year. I'm going to bribe them. Jeffrey's coming, good lad. What's I bribing him with? When I was at BBC Gardens over live last, these were here. They had a stand there, and I was promoting this for them, and they gave me this one as a gift. And now it's Jeffrey was interested. So he's having that when he comes. Good lad. Colin, how can I get him to our show? He's after some of these. So I'm going to give him some of them and all. Now, how can I get our kid? Is he still after this slug clear? Don't know. Dave? Well, no, he's coming anyway. Or I've got his way to put in our spreadsheet. If you ain't got no room for that stick on, I'll bring it up. Excuse to have a night on the ale. And anybody else who turns up, I can have a bottle of wine. Right, gentlemen, once a week you should all fiddle into a container. This is me, top of the garden, just to see if it's nice and clear. If it is, go nice and healthy. If there's any little chaps swimming about or it's a bit cloudy, you need to go and see the vet. Right, this was last night. What a waste of space. I wasted an hour and a half of my life watching this. And now, earlier on in the morning, this was Italy having a training session at the Dell in Dudley this morning. Somebody took this photo, obviously a local chap. Now, the Dell is, well, it's in Brierley Hill. But I've played football on there, 5-side football, when I was at Alzheimer's Fire Station. I used to play against other teams, Brierley and Dudley. But I used to love it there. and these lot were training on the Dell because all the matches, I think it's Tuesday's match as well, it's at Wolverhampton Stadium, which ain't too far away. Andy, that's up Leisure. Well, you're talk of the devil and he's on here. Right, Andy sent me a few photos. And he's had his seeds from a few seeds from Select Seeds before I put the photos on. Select Seeds, we had a talk from him last year at our gardening club. This is Dave Thornton. He doesn't dish out rubbish, and every year he brings something out new. So that was a new one for this year. That was another new one. And a new tomato. Small fruited tomato. Dave Thornton, did we have him at, might have been March, I think. So I did the Feb talk with the AGM, it must be March or. But obviously he bought all his seeds down to Flog as well. But he gave us a talk on the seeds, how they get them, the companies get them, how he gets them. But a fascinating talk. He's given us now about 6 talks. He covers loads of things. Good speaker. And then he's at half time. Chap's going for the grub. That's when he's flogging his bits and pieces. Right, the majority of Andy's toms come from Dave Thornton.
I'm still getting no volume from it, so.
Have you got the volume on?
Rolly, I can hear you. Can you turn your mic off, please? Good man. Andy had 10 out of 10 germination with Select Seeds. Cucumber. This is for show and for eating. And all his produce was far more advanced than in previous years. And he's happy with his produce. And his peppers he got going are sweet. And there's his straw. Austin Collie.
Yeah.
Now them two you could have showed at our show if they had been on time. Nice and white, rounder the better. Beautiful. Near enough the same size. Brilliant. Right, seed from me, Andy had, which was from Graham Barrett, long chili, obviously. But I've sent out a load of seeds last year from different people that I've borrowed off. There's Graham Barrett. There's Barry Davis down, he sent me some onion seed, but there's loads of seed was sent out. So if anybody's did have the seed and you've got produce from it, just send us a couple of photos, let us know how you're getting on. Are you pleased with it? With crap germination or whatever. And that was a giant pepper also, he had seed from me. And that was a long chili seed he'd saved originally from Teddy King. Pepper's doing well. And this was a cutting from a neighbour. And that's a spare and croissant. The ensure the strain, whatever. But he's going to let me have that because he's a good lad. And hopefully somebody can tell me how to look after that so I can get it ready for show for Saturday, September. We'll try him later on. Thank you for that input, Andy. Good man. And this is what I'm waiting for later on in the season. He's only doing one more show and that's it. He's wrapping in. But love him. The kids up to school when I did the gardening club, they reckon I was like him, telling them to shut up and whatever. Basically, you speak your mind. Right, my taters, if you remember, my Charlotte spuds were coming through and this was a week ago, so then they're going for our bring and buy in a week. Right, this needs updating. These 2 frames I've been in there 40 odd year. We was in the fire service. We used to do fire prevention. We used to do it then. Fire crews. Now, then they had their own fire prevention team. That's when we had money, cutbacks. That's gone again. Meaning we used to inspect premises. And these two wooden frames, obviously glass complete, was in the skip. And I asked the gaffer if I could have them. And we bought them back in the back of the wagon. Jobby day of a shout. And that's what I wanted them for. So I built this enclosure to go around that frame. But the top's coming out and I'm going to clean all this crap up. So first thing I do, wipe that down, put all the rough, and then give that a couple of coats. Now I'm going to seal all this back because the top's coming off. As you can see there, it is lifting already. So I'll just wallop that lot with filler and then white paint. And did all the woodwork as well, sealing it. Got the top off. Luckily that come off whole. It was a twin wall, I think it's called, plastic. Nice and strong, nice and clear. Screen sunlight will go through it, but it keeps the rain off. And pours, I mean that. Drop that to it off sometime. And that's just wallops everything now. And so it should be weatherproof. And there's a sheet I got for him. That's in the front of the house, up the bins, so the window ticket. Right, getting this lot cleared. So I've took the cover off. And I've got BTD, which is base and top dressing. When I used to first started exhibiting leeks and onions, that was one of our big sellers at the trading shed, BTD. That's what the big boys used to use. You still get it, but it's a bit expensive. But I've put a fistful per square yard, 40 inches to the top inch and a half, then give it a good soaking. When I mean a good soaking, I mean about 8 watering cans in there. Put my cover back on, keep that moisture in, stop it drying out. Waiting for when I plant out, because this is now a glady bed. Next year there'll be fruit beds. This is the last year I'm growing onions. Next year will just be fruit and gladdies and a bit of eating veg. Because all my fruit trees are going in these, that's why I'm taking the roofs off. I've got to cut back this year because obviously I want the show to keep going. And we're struggling because we've lost 2 committee members, close committee members, meaning work-wise it's going to be harder for when we have the show. Every year I used to take my van and it used to be 6 or 7 trips of produce for me just to get all my stuff in. And the last few years there's always stuff I haven't had time to show, to exhibit, because something crops up, so you got to sort somehow. And that's going to be even worse this year. Well, even worse again because we're having 2 markings. So I've got to cut back. So I'm cutting that back on the bench. So this is going to be a glady bed for this year. Plus, I'm not growing tomatoes in the side of the greenhouse, which is usually there. So there's gladdies going in there as well. Obviously when they start growing up here, then the top will come off, so they can grow through. But this is trialing indoor and outdoor gladdies as well. So I've got the name of the gladdie that's going in and the date it was planted. So then I can have a rough idea for next year what grows indoor and outdoor and time them for that. If they're too small to bung out, so these are, obviously just put them in a pot, same as these. Plus in my raised bed, I ain't told Pet, but I'm bunging some in there in the back of that as well, and the 2 sides, obviously not the front. But I can see how many I can get in there and all. Cumberland brandy anti-check, it's not quite clear, so I'll give you that another month. So check that in a month's time. Right, John Murphy sent me a few photos. He still ain't got the internet or Wi-Fi. When he does, he'll be an asset to us all. So he sent me some photos and he's sent me write-ups with it. So that's what he sent me. So we start off with the first one there. Basically, it's frozen fruit delivery boxes he uses for his setup, and then there's just the plug plants starting off with. And he sprays under the pots, feeding the taproot and air roots at the same time. This is a solar fountain water pump, only costs 20 quid, which is perfect for this. So if anybody's interested, we'll have a go. So there's his foam delivery boxes. He puts holes in the top, obviously, for the pots just to fit in. And he's done that with another one there with a tray, and that fits in or sits over. So he just lifted that up, and the pump's under here, and he just sprays these. So obviously there's compost in there, but he has done it without compost as well. He's a trial and error man, which is good for us also. And there's a spray that comes out. And there's the one with just the roots. You've got a trial and error. This was a clone from a mother plant, chili, from a few years back. So that was this year, obviously, here, 17th of the 1st. It looks nice and strong. Who needs electric? There's his kettle. Bloody that. Just to get a cup of tea. Gotta be English, eh? Right, Nick, if you can explain this lot for me. Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't expecting these. So John Murphy come down to see me this morning. Great lad, knows his stuff, and I didn't even know he took these photos, to be fair. So this was just in my onion greenhouse at home. Yeah. So going okay at the moment. Probably on par where I should be. For anybody that knows about growing onions, biggest is about 24.5 inches and 21 inches high, nearly maxed out in growth. And I'd have thought I'd be hitting the £10 mark in about probably 2 weeks' time. And then we'll see what the weather does. So hoping for something special this year, but we will see. Yeah, happy with them. Next one. Like I said, I didn't even know we took these photos. So here's some sweet corn that I'm growing. Can't remember the variety. In one of the beds on some of the land I've got. And to the left, which you can't see, is my giant cabbage. They're doing really, really well. And some dahlias there on the right, different varieties. Yeah, and they're doing really well. What is strange, though, I've got a couple of plants that all of a sudden, and I can't show you the picture, all of a sudden the last 3 or 4 days, they just died. Don't know what's happened, whether the tubers have died or something's got at the roots. I'll have to, if it doesn't survive, I'll dig it up and have a look. But any advice on that? There's some courgette plants in behind. I've been harvesting them for about 2 weeks now. Next one, Nick. There's a small greenhouse I got. So Johnny's a bugger, isn't he? Taking these pictures, put me on the spot. So none of the greenhouse I've got. It's an expensive greenhouse when it was first put up, but just wooden, all made out of hamstone, with on the outside, really nice. So just some tomatoes in there, and cucumbers, which is mini munch, pasanda, that I've been picking again for a couple of weeks, and Whereas last year, when I didn't have the chickens, I was struggling to give away veg. But this year, anything that grows that I don't want, the chickens are eating it up for me. So the great little dinosaurs. Next one, Nick.
Used to grow Cassandra when I did my mini queues. Lovely them.
Yeah, I mean, actually at the bottom there, so I've got automatic irrigation into the beds outside. There's 5 beds, about 10 meters long. One's about 3 meters wide, and the other's about 1 meter wide. So they're all hooked up to water. I haven't got on it at the moment because I don't need it. But when we get some really hot weather, that'll set up, and that'll just go automatically. So I haven't got to worry about watering at all. There's chicken. There's John taking some cuttings off a couple of my tomatoes, the side shoots. In fact, these tomatoes are a variety, and I can't remember their name, but they're from Sainsbury's, to be fair. My wife won't eat any of my tomatoes. She just doesn't like them. But the only one she likes, the one she buys from Sainsbury's, which is Sainsbury's Finest. So I took some seed out, sort of, can't remember when it was, might be November, December. So I'm growing a few of those plants, and yeah, the chickens are laying 6 eggs every day. Beautiful, but lovely creatures. Next one. So this is the polytunnel. I'm growing about 60 tomato plants in here through the middle. Akron, some Big Mama, some tomatoes off a 9.4 pound tomato from America, the world record. I managed to get hold of those seeds. I got those going. In fact, I give John a couple of those, take away some cuttings, and some gardeners delight, I think. Various other things in that polytunnel, lots of other stuff. Loads of strawberries. So I've got about 35 hanging baskets. These are second year fruiting. So what I've done this year, as you can see the side shoots, normally I would cut them all off. So let the plant focus on the fruit. This year I'm going to let them all run. Take the runners off them so they stop fruiting. And I should get probably a couple hundred runners. So I will scrap the year 2, start fresh on year 1 again next year. And the next
Have
one,
you just come out the loo?
Come on.
We'll nick the toilet paper.
It's quite good. It's quite good, the land I've got. I've got electric, I've got water, I've got a little summer house there that whatever I want to do, and a trampoline and all the rest of it. Carry on, next one, Mick. A few bits and pieces I gave to John, so some kale, some spring onions I had spare, strawberries, 2 cucumbers, beetroot. There's a cabbage there from Tesco on the left. I fed that to the chickens this afternoon. It's only 49p. I got in the tree. Aloe vera and some tomato cutting. So yeah, fruiting. I've got a big, good harvest of beetroot coming out now. That'll go back. I've got plug plants that'll go in. They're multi-sown beetroot, so it's not one at a time. Those 3 beetroot there come off one bunch. So that's a good idea if you're going green root. Multi-sow them. They work well. Next one. And that's it, I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Nick.
Thank you.
Cheers for that input, Nick.
No worries. Unexpected.
Is anyone else having problems with the connection? Because I'll keep dropping out. Is it general or is it my setup, please? Because if
That's fine.
It very good there. I could understand him, but it weren't perfect.
It's dropping out for me.
Yeah.
I'm running it on 2 computers. One I'm listening to the talking, and the other one behind the picture. But the other one computer's not got a camera on it.
I don't know whether it's my end or not, but
I haven't got a problem.
no.
I don't know.
I can hear everybody clear now.
I might have to go off then because I think it might be my Virgin.
You're perfect this end, Colin.
Am I?
Yeah, you're perfect, Colin.
Oh, it's everything that's coming in, so I don't know.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. It's just when it just keep. I've dropped off 3 times and you've come back on again.
What, you fell asleep?
I even rebooted
Was that
the
boring?
router
Yeah.
to
Router.
try and get it sorted.
Sorry, I'll do it later. I'll carry on anyway. I'll have to have a look. I'll get.
Anyway, this is me mate Darren Rudge.
Mm.
Talking with him and Black Country Museum. And this is it's put on this morning. Accumulation of years worth of teaching and learning. Winterbourne House and Gardens, RHS Level 2. Learners brought me a few presents as a thank you. A glass house, and if I zoom in on that one, that's me mate Monty Don with Darren, of course. Because he's one of his talks, brass tights and knickers or something. How you can use them in gardening, we just work. Steve sent us that one, first picking of straws. This was last week. So he'd do it then by now. Thank you, Steve. Fancy watching Love Island tonight? No thanks, I've got something better planned. I thought that was superb. Our kids are being brainwashed. Right, me indoor trailers. I take them out once a week, hang them up on the line prop, and give them a nice watering. That's yours, Lizzie. He'll be coming out soon, isn't it? He's just throwing I think there's one the other side as well. So I should get some flowers off him. Forgot the name on him. Right, my grapes in the tunnel, both doing well. What I'm doing now, if there's anything that's throwing off from the bottom again, I'll take them off and pinch out all the little arms as well.
Quick question on the grape. I've never grown them. I'm thinking about growing them in the polytunnel next year.
Yeah.
So basically, you treat it like a cucumber, do you? Take it up on the side shoot.
Yeah. I want the length on it before anything else. I want him to reach the top and then go across the top. So I want everything going into that main shoot.
Will they grow in a? They grow well in a polytunnel?
Yeah, I've had them on the tunnel in the plot for years since I've been there. It's just like a greenhouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as you plant outside and come in underneath.
Plant out and come in, is it?
Yeah. Then he gets the rainwater.
Good thinking, yeah.
Yeah. The old folk, I know my grandfather, they used to put a dead cat under them before their fertilisers. You can't do that nowadays.
Not many of them about, is there?
Roadkill, I suppose. Right, my tulips, which I've got up earlier on, you can see now, which I laid out to dry. They are now nice and dry because I've lost all the greenness, so they'll be chopped up. And if they look crap, they are crap. Bin it. There's loads of little chaps here in the last. Look at him. Saw him up the fence. So he legs up the fence, got a bit hungry, and thought, well, I'll turn around and start yomping that leaf. Cheeky bugger. Put him in the green bin. Neil, are you with us, sir? I hope he is. Neil.
That'll be the start of it, big cucumbers.
They am on. Right, if he does come in, that's a bonus. I told him I was bugging him on tonight anyway. Them and his dahlias. He's got I know he likes his dahlias. I think he shows these as well. Well, you see, he's got quite a few out there. This is on his plot up Wednesbury. I'll be bloody guessing here. If he's watching the footy, I'm gonna tell him off. Dahlias again. Pot leeks, so he's got 3 rows in there. Ain't got a clue what strain they are. Looks like his Swede, his giant Swede. And obviously his giant red cabbage. That's what he won with. Was it last year or year before? I can't remember. Obviously his green cabbage, heavy. Looks like beetroot, heavy beetroot. That's pot links again. Neil, thank you for that input. Whenever you were, we can't do that because I've lost the link. Right, 3 grow bags I got last week from our training sheds. Smaller bags, but that's all we could get. Clover, so they should be good. When you get them, obviously they get them on a pallet, and they have to stack them as small as they can. So when they come off, these have been compressed, so they're solid. So you're gonna break them up. Meaning, just put them on the side. I just smack them with my hand, then turn them the other way, and I just break all you're doing is breaking all the lumps up inside. So when you do plant out, it ain't just one solid mass. Let it help the chaps out. So there's my 3s to start off with. Right, I'm using that as my base. So I put all my holes on the bottom, they're going all the way around, plus holes in the middle as well. I'm using the bottomless pot. This is a 3 litre pot, that gives you a clue. I'm cutting the bottom out, so we started from him to him. 1 pot per grow bag. Because there's another grow bag going this way to the bottom here. I don't want this in the middle, I want it up this end of the greenhouse. So he's got all that to go from. Because down here, this grow bag bottom left might be overlapping this one. So I'll put my pot on and just mark around it and then cut that out. The compost then here, I'm pushing it and just filling all this lot in. So I've got a hole there, not a hole but a dent. You can see that better now. So my pot not only goes in there, but it goes down about 3/4 of an inch. So it is settled inside that compost.
Have you ever thought about adding anything to that, Mick? Like a few bits of general purpose compost or miracle grow or anything? Do you find that's enough?
No, not yet. Grow bags as well as multi-purpose compost have got grub already in them.
Okay.
But they'll tell you if they want to feed. So you fern this down, I'll put it on that side, and just wiggle him round so you know he goes in. And I want him level, so when I water, it stays in, it don't run off. So I've got my uncle had that, he had that bloody moons. He did me. Still works. So I'll get it nice and level up both ways. The only thing I want to do help him out root wise, put a bit of mica under his Harris. That'll do me, ready to go out. So I'll empty him out of the pot he was in originally, put him in this bottomless pot, and now bunged him in. The pot's the same size, so not a lot of disturbance whatsoever. I'm now going to empty that bottle onto him. I shall then empty 2 more bottles onto him. I want the whole of this compost moist, not just going down to what's roots. I want it to wet all this compost as well. So we've just done that one on the right. Now I'm going to do this one on the middle because there's 2 ready to go out. So same again. So that one there, that's Lee's from South Wales. He's heavy pepper. And that one there, that's Scotch curry plant. When I get that talk down south, and we met up. And I tried one of get in there, see if I can see him. Oh, you can. So you can't see him very well because I'm green, but you'll see him there.
You know what, mate? Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
It's really interesting with chilies and peppers. I used to grow a lot of them. I mean, a lot. And start them quite early in the season, sort of January, December, February. This year, I wasn't growing them at all. Started mine off, germination, 1st of April. And now, I'll take some pictures and send to you. I think they're as good as the ones I ever started early. They just catch themselves up.
Yep. Warmth in it makes all the difference. I tried one of these, and Scott, these are hot, and I mean hot. I was expecting, because it's cold, it's a curry plant, and it was evil. And I'll give Paul one, and he's going to eat one when we finish the night. He's going to eat it live. Yes.
Get them canners out, Mick.
Oh, y'all. And there's a Carolina Reaper. Paul gave me this, so he ain't big enough yet to go out. We'll have to grow this for our Balti house in Colligate, because he has competitions with his mates in Brum, or the curry houses, who can eat the hottest chili pepper, and he usually wins. Well, he's going out anyway, so doing exactly the same again. Nice roots on him. Right, go back on that one. This is when, right, that's one of me daily cuttings. This is off Scott and All poo variety. Anything you've got growing in pots like that, turn them daily. Like if it was a pot of seedlings, they'd be drawn to the sun anyway. That's why you turn daily. But although they don't look, I mean, if he's going up upright, you think, well, he's alright. But this is why you turn him daily, because there's roots on that side. If I turn him right over, there ain't so many roots. So that side has had the sun on it, warmth. So turn your pots daily. Right, and it's nice and clean, so I put a towel around it, just in case I'm making a mess there, filling this up. Because obviously he's going into a pot which is too big for him. He ain't going to fit in neat. Exactly the same again, level as I can. So that's all my chilies out up that end of the greenhouse. Perfect. They will be going out soon, Paul. Thank you.
Good lad. Why'd you get that growth funnel? In your raised bed at the top. Be nice.
Right, a few pots I'm going to get rid of. We should use these for me onions. So I've got them ready for the bring them by later on. Why this come in the post? Holland. Thought Gordon Bennett. What the hell's that? And I thought there was the customer's decoration. Let's crap on the Brits, because they've left us. And it was these I sent for. I'll try to find the photo, but these was on is it Beechcroft, Scotland. They had these. That was in one of their beds, and it was a superb dwarf flower, blue flower. And I googled it, found these, and got it up from them. Right, I couldn't find the photo again to show you what the photo was. So they'll be going in for next year. Kathy sent me 2 photos of nature, just the bees ferreting them out, active. Delphiniums, I had to tie these up again, and it's supposed to be dry here for the next week, supposedly. There's the only drawback on these, once they get wet, the weight of them. But I'm getting a nice display now. Right, 2 more runners have got to go out. Them 2 have been pinched out, they've reached the top. So these two are going, there's one going on the end of that, another one here. As you can see on this one, don't forget these was filled to the brim. So the compaction, it's only through the rain. We've dropped this down, and obviously the stuff that's in there, the dry medium, which is compost and the old compost, that's broke down as well, so it's dropped. So I'm going to fill them up. So first thing, all the weed suppressant comes away.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about, because you've got the artificial grass now, have you ever thought about cutting a section away, because you're in pots now, tubs, is taking the bottom of the tubs out, permanently have it there so that they've got more soil and nutrients in the natural soil?
Could do, or
I think things would probably, I'm not saying they're not going to grow, because you've got good compost and everything, but if you did that as a permanent feature with, instead of having, perhaps in years to come, instead of having plastic, have clay pots that actually you dig and sink them into the soil, then you've just got constant nutrients, haven't you?
good idea. Well, I've got the raised bed that side.
Yeah, but
Well,
with your other small pots, I just think if you're growing something like a bean, which is very nutrient hungry, and yes, you can feed it, and yes, you can keep going. It's harder work. If you had permanent pots with bottoms cut out, then it would be a lot easier, and I think the yield would be probably better.
Might just make a raised bed, so I've only got to do the one side.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thinking, Batman.
Because I do that with some of my stuff. I grow it in pots. It's like in my polytunnel. I grow it in air pots.
Yeah.
There, but I take the base of the air pot out, so it just sits halfway in the soil. The air pot does what it's meant to do. It works as a root pruning, but it also benefits from the soil underneath, and the worms come off and work wonders through it.
Yeah. Oh. Real. Right, they've reached the top, so I'm going to cut them. There he is. Sliced. You'll never get beans off the top anyway. So they'll be composted. And I saw another humongous worm. He went in the compost bin with me other babbies.
Are you breeding them, Mick?
Sorry?
Are you breeding those long worms?
I don't know where they're coming from.
Get much bigger, they'll be attacking them.
I won't pick them up if they're any bigger. Right, this weed suppressant, whatever it's called, it frays on the edging. So I'll just put a black tape on it and well coat. Basically, I'm doing me a mat because I've got to fill me runner bean trays up before I bung them in. I want to make me a little mat. This is what I've done here. So I've just cut it to size and now I've taped around it, stop it fraying. Now I'll just take that door off, catch all the crap.
I know I'm full of it, Mick, but another tip that I find with the bottomless pot, instead of cutting them with a pair of scissors or a Stanley knife, use a soldering iron all the way around. You get no splitting then either.
Oh, you get a bigger hole. Oh, I've got a soldering iron.
You know what I mean? Just work the soldering iron all the way along the pot.
Yeah.
At the bottom, if you decide to do that, you find a lot of the polypropylene plastic becomes quite brittle. So if you use a soldering iron to remove the bottom, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, nice one.
They used to get rawhide cups, plant pots for growing tomatoes in ring culture, Mick.
Yeah. Used to.
I haven't seen any lately.
Oh.
There were rawhide ones. Bottomless pots.
Never heard of anybody doing them, to tell the truth. So all my bits which I've dropped on here, let me get put back in the strapper. Any rubbish that ain't breaking down, that goes back in the compost heap.
How old would that compost be, Mick?
About a month.
Wow.
So I've top dressed him, bunged him in. Don't forget there's a good stem on him anyway. So then I've gone right up to the first true leaves. So he's got a good depth under his arris. Get a bit of muck around him. Good watering. Right, pollination on me everything. Tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. You can either walk past and just tap it, or you can get a mist spray, water, and just spray underneath the flowers. But this chap, I think we got a photo later on. This is Lee's heavy pepper. There's that one I took off and ate. I only ate 8 in it. Gordon Bennett Scott. Right, Rushan likes cute bananas as well as me. So the skins are going straight on top of me wormery. So I put my old cardboard back. There's little babbies eating away. So I'll just put them down for them and then put the paper back on. Right, this was, what day was this? Well, it was a busy week.
It's Tuesday, wasn't it?
This was Tuesday. Paul should have come with me down Starbridge. In fact, I think it was only a day out. This was Claptrap down Starbridge, as I mentioned. Manish runs this place. They have bands and groups. But it was narrated by Woody Harrison. It was a film, Kiss the Ground. His Friends of the Earth, obviously Starbridge group, they put this on. Free entry, and I was free on the night. So I asked Mark if he fancied going. Well, the three of us was going to go. But Paul was busy and couldn't make it. But we legged it down there. Starbridge Friends of the Earth. That's what we put it on. It's in Soul Association, it's with them as well. That's our mate. He's on a lot of American stuff. I've never seen it. That's me and Mark when we got there. Just got to say, the stage was up here and the screen was behind that. Obviously, we had to try the local, as you do. That's that. Go back on that one. But I think it just lasted over an hour, the talk, and basically it was everything I've been doing for the last 6 or 7 years. It's what they do in the States. Because I can remember years ago when I got into compost teas, and the Soil Association started doing the compost tea seminars, and then went to the first one to Sting's place down Salisbury. And it's exactly that, well, it's ain't exactly, but it's very similar. And what they're doing now, it's like putting, if you've got a big lawn, you put sheep in to keep it down, and then you move it on to another one. And it's like that farmland. If they've got cows, they partition a quarter of the field off, put the cows in, they're eating everything, crapping, and that's fertiliser, looking after the soil, and then move them on to something else. Meaning there's no till. That's the American word for no dig. So there's no dig cultivation, which is what compost tea was about anyway. So this is just going that bit further in the sense there's no need to dig, just to work with nature. And at the end of this, because obviously I went down a word with them, everybody who was in there who organised it. And I said, can I go and have 5 minutes on the stage? Because it was a discussion after and Q&As after the film. And nobody has sod or, well, I can say they don't have any interest. And I says, oh, go on. So I just legged it up there, told him what I was doing. I said I've been doing most of this for a while anyway. Introduced myself and got some more feedback of them. But it was a good night. I think Mark enjoyed it and all. Still learning.
Got a question Nick, on the compost.
Yes.
So the chickens, I've got so I cleaned the straw out of the coop and I back in there and all the rest of it. I rake out actually.
You're breaking up again, Nick.
Can you hear me? Hello?
That was quiet. That's a bit better. Lost you again.
Can't hear you.
Come in the end, Nick, when we finish the stropper. Right, me raised bed we're
1, 2, 3,
fertilised.
4. 1, 2.
Yeah, I'm still crumbling, Nick. Coming to the end, mate, with that question. So my gladdy bed, which I prepared, then covered, weighted. So I'm making me as you can see, hues. So 7 inches between the rows. So I'm going to put me labels in there. And the same again in between. So that's where the first one's going. So I've got my labelling that in. That's what's going in. So there's Florist Nightingale and the daisy went in, 10 to the 6th. I've got 1 point in that row. So there's my cross. That's what I'm going to go for, all wires. So I'll take him out and then dig out that. And put my babbies in. Next one, Florist Nightingale again. 6 of the 6, sorry. Bit of vermiculite art underneath, chaps. Bung him in, give him a good weight to him. This was a talk I did for Womban WY. Couldn't get a word in. No, I couldn't. I said that once and I threw a fit. I couldn't get a word in because our mate, not the loser, was walking about somewhere. The chairperson was talking for 40 minutes from the stuff they'd done since the last meeting. There's our Donna. Comes to our gardening club meetings. Well, it was through Donna. I've given them about 5 talks now. There is. Oh, I say, well, it's got to go on and on, eh? Get through all the stuff. But they have a good talk out, and I'll give them a talk, and it was a one-off in the sense that I made this talk just for them. It's basically my life through gardening, how I started, what I'm doing now. But good night. And the good thing being a WY at the end, cakes and strawberries, cream. There's Donna's little. And I had to go for a pill. I nearly crapped myself. This dummy was in there and I put a mask on the queen. Used it from the year before. I nearly had to change my underpants. I had 2 goes on the raffle. It was only allowed 2 goes. And I won 2 prizes. Or 1. So I bought that back for the gaffer. This was, because our Ben was here, Thursday dinner. Went down to our pub again with a hound. It's supposed to be sunny. Deja got that wrong again. He's going to get fired, he is. So we went inside with a hound. Luckily, that I didn't used to do food on the dinner time, on the weekday. And I've just started back up again this day, so that was a stroke of luck. Very rare I have a pizza, which I did have one. Picked on something else, I forget what it was. Ben had a fish pie, she was at home, got back now. Austin. Russian. thought, no, let's go the whole log, have a pudding and all. Proper cheesecake, unmade. And then what did I have? Crumble. Toffee apple crumble. And a good dollop of custard. Can't have it dry. To be a salad with it. Right, spuds now got a bit of more growth on them. They're ready for the bring and boil. That was on the same night. So I packed the boot out. Basically, I've got my pots to flog off. I've also got large, solid plastic pots. Took them out the road. There's a tin box. I think I had 3 or 4 Musselburgh leeks. Then we started off at Feb, cold greenhouse. And we're ready to go. Spare dahlia from Scott. Freesias, 2 pot them. There's my taters. Plus my raffle prize I took down. Sandwich maker. I took that down for us as well. Stuff I was taking down for people. And loads of seeds from Woodcroft. One of my shops down the line. Our kid went in and they was throwing the seeds out. She says, I'll give them to me. So I dished them out and all. So that's me loaded up. So first one there, unloaded all my produce. That was half a roll of galvanised chicken wire and all. Loads of other pots, florist buckets, which are more ideal for growing carrots in. But it turned out a bloody good night. Packed out. All the produce was up this end. Obviously, half time, we stopped for the grub, which now we've come down to where we used to have sandwiches and all the bits and pieces. Because I've got to cut back, we now just have cobs. So we had ham and mustard, or cheese and onion. Onion was loose, and just a quid a cob. Who drew the raffle? Footy tout, half time. Then we started up again with flogging the produce again. But we had a good turnout of people and produce. And Neville bought this chopping. But he was a corker. I think he went for 20 quid. And do you all know what the name of it is?
Yeah, it's a pitcher plant. It's a pitcher plant. It traps insects inside.
Yeah. But he was a boster.
Sarracenia.
And these are some of the stuff I bought on. That was sprouting calabrese or broccoli. Little chaps. And I saw this one trailing. I thought I'm gonna have him. I would have gone up to a £5 for him.
I grow them as well, make it home.
They're lovely. Boston.
Yeah.
Sesh12th. Sesh12th, is that right?
And they're yeah, and they are so easy to root as well, off cuttings.
So I'll put him in a nice pot. And then I'll just hung him up where he's going to live for a bit. Give him a good watering so he can run out. And I've got to put him up during the week.
Nice.
A pet. Did you all bring that in, Sue?
I did. I would have given you a cutting willingly. It roots so easily.
Go on.
He'll do me. Glad you brought it in. Wispy clouds. a sign of good weather.
Mm.
I bought this back as well. I don't know what it is. Anybody
Yeah.
recognise the leaf?
Geranium, yeah. Geranium. What geranium that was, Mick?
Was it?
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. What geraniums?
So we've got a bit of a gap there. So that's where the chap's going. Bit of Micondrius Harris.
Mm.
Watering. Right, this is me taking the hound for a walk in the morning. I'm going to go get the papers. But this has been there moons. But the smell of it when you go past. Let's get a close up. Will you recognise them? Well, the smell is superb.
Orange. Mock
Sorry?
orange, is it?
Mock orange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Philadelphia or something, or mock orange it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the scent of it is superb. I could sit there and smell it all day, but I'd be locked up. Still getting me nettles and me comfrey. Right, deadheading. This was opened, first one to open on the front of the house because it's got protection from frost. So I'm deadheading already with this lot. Same as any plant. Keep deadheading, and the more flowers you get, stops the chap going to seed. And if there is any blown over, then I'll pick them up and I'll bung them in. If you've got them, flaunt them. Right, all my shallots which I got up earlier on are undercover, meaning I'm drying out. Tulips have dried out. These are drying out nicely. Another week or so, or most of the green should have been gone off these. So these are the ones that ain't no good for exhibiting, i.e. pickling shallots. Pickling exhibition size, i.e. 30mm, so they will be pickled, ready for the show. So I'm still going to show them. And dead ending these lot as well, but that colour's coming on.
It's lovely.
Another couple of weeks or so, and this lot will start hanging over. All the stuff that is growing inside, I'm persuading it.
Nice, Mick.
Yeah, we're getting there slowly.
It's beautiful.
We're still getting cold nights,
Mm.
as you can see by the tinges on the bougainvillea. But love him. Now, my freesia just started opening today. Cormorants, Gladys. The first lot obviously I put in right in the back. And they're coming through now, growing away nicely. I'll get these been out for a while now. Plus my Gladys, which I've got in the tunnel.
Mm.
So I've got to utilise all my space.
Yeah.
Don't forget, got rid of me allotment. And Paul told me off, because I ain't bunged these out yet. But do I keep them in these pots or put them in larger pots?
Larger,
Right.
yeah.
There ain't much roots on the bottom yet.
Go larger.
Put them in a bigger pot.
Them thirsty and a lot of food, do they?
Yeah.
They like a lot of water in a bigger pot, I think, Mick.
Yeah, okay.
And is it full sun you put them in as well?
Yes, I do.
We do,
Yeah.
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 Poor
Mine
son.
Fabian. Mine,
Shade.
no. Son. Full son.
I also did poor son, full sun.
No,
Full
Yeah.
sun. Full sun.
Mine double the size of them now.
Yeah. Yeah. You could just put those in a big pot, really. The four of them together would be fine, Mick, really. And you restricted if you wanted on space.
I was going to give my son one. Oh, no, I
Yeah,
didn't.
you could do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just love the leaf. I mean, the flowers are bonus in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It
Yeah.
is.
But,
I potted mine up individually into big pots. Is that
Yeah.
a bit of overkill or?
No, that's fine. No, I was only saying that just because I thought Mick was a bit perhaps pressed for space, but they do come. You
No,
can.
I've got the pots on.
Oh, good. Lovely.
Real.
Well done.
Right, we're still young.
Tuber will fill
these
the
off.
pot.
Go
The
on.
little tuber will fill the pot, Mick. Give them time.
Oh,
It can split the pot as well.
there's new growth coming off them. I mean, there's probably 4 of them now are throwing new growth out besides.
Get them in.
I will get them out. Right, we're taking the bottom leaves off, obviously, for the meal, and there's new growth coming out the bottom. Like where I took them off of the stem, that's throwing new growth, which is what I want. Because that plant will last me all year. Shallots down to 2s. Right, feeding wise. The big leek and onion men years ago used to use Campac number 2, 3, 4, and 8. I nitrogen feed, you start with number 2, obviously then work your way up NPK wise. So the 8's of potash. But how many people now use Campac? We've still got it down the trading sheds, but very many ask for it. Which we're losing all the old exhibitors. And what most of them use, which is easy, is Global, which is balanced feed. NPK 777. So whichever time of the year, there's food in there for it. But if you use Global, make sure it goes on the floor, not on top of the plant. Because if you're just getting a crook of a leaf or something and it rains, it'll burn the plant, which is fertiliser, don't forget. Or Miracle Grow, that's all purpose as well. We'll go flog that one. NPK, NAKs. This is up north somewhere, but I used to have quite a bit of stuff off them for our trading sheds when we first started. And these went out
Be interesting to know the NPK on that, Mick.
I'll have a nose,
yeah.
I'll let you know. But they used to make this for the leek and onion men. As it says there. But that was yonks ago. So I've just turned them round. What you can use is for bedding plants, greenhouse, lawns, roses, sweet peas, leeks and onions. And then you move on to the next one. Potatoes, root veg, soft fruit, fuchsias, toms. And then the last one, alpines, ponds on it, conifer, cacti, delphinium, sweet peas, runners.
The only thing I would say about Campac stuff is if you're growing in containers or pots, what you do find, if you don't get it's not organic, so it's not an organic fertilizer like horse poo or cow or whatever you want to use. You do get a build up of heavy soats, acids and soats in the soil. If you use it regular, you're better off with an organic. Outside it's fine because it gets washed out, but in pots or anything like that, you do get a build up.
Name's enough to put me off.
The what?
The name is enough to put me off.
Oh, Campac's been going for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But like I said, I think my message would be from me. I wouldn't be using it in pots and containers if you're growing for eating. It's fine, and you're going to get rid of the compost. But for anything else, I wouldn't be using that.
So if it's in a container, you're going to be finished with it end of the season anyway.
Yeah, if you chuck it out, it's fine, Nick. But if you're going to keep it, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to use it in, if you've got a tunnel at home or your onion bed or whatever you've got there, if you feed it with that, it's all fine. But at the end of the season, take the top off and let the rainwater flush it through.
Yeah. That's why we used to flood the beds in the tunnel years ago, washing up the salts out. Yeah. For the Miracle Grow, NPK again, nitrogen, phosphate, potash, plus micronutrients, which are trace elements. But that's the one we flog more than anything.
Another good one, Mick, is Osmocote.
Slow release.
Yeah, Osmocote is very, very good as a really slow release fertilizer. I'd recommend it over Miracle Grow.
Yeah. The leaking onion man used to use that and all.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, I've started taking the roof off. This was yesterday, day before. Of me 8-ounce onions. Yeah, I've took it off. In between wings. That lot was bagged up. Bin men, I'll have that. I've got half of it in my bin. The other half are going to more neighbours' bins. Just before the bin men pick it up. Now, our mate can wait them for me. These sides I'm leaving in just for a bit of wind protection. But we'll see how we go. Because my fruit trees are going in this one. This one it might be for Gladys next year. See how we go. That's still a while back. Right, we're on the patio now. So this is my first raised bed for me Gladys. Just started coming through. So I've got a new shoot off that one. So the eyes which I took out of that comb, they make a very good job of that one. Because it's still bloody spurted. That's why I've got to get that tater peeler right in there to get the lot out. But I can still get in there. So I've taken the soil away, the grime medium, right to where the end is. I don't think Nigel Coe would do this, or if he did, because I know he's mentioned before, with me snapping him off, you've then got a clean wound, but he's now going to get dirty. If you've got any crap in your soil, that's going to send that rotten. Or I just want one flower, so I'm going to take the chance. Whether Nigel, if he did do that, if he's on, he might come in at the end. If he did break that off, is there anything I can just put on that just to clean it, or like sulphur, green sulphur? I've still got some of that. Would that seal it, i.e. stop bacteria getting in? Bad bacteria, not bacteria, obviously. So I've taken him off as close as to that comb as I can get it, then earth him back up. So that was the last tub I've sown in. Right, this morning in Lidl, Wi-Fi boosters, 20 quid.
Yeah.
We've got one of these on the top of our landing, meaning because I'm in the bedroom and all the stuff's downstairs in the living room, I think we paid 30 quid off Amazon. Thank you, Colin. I'm saying them 20 quid now in Lidl. Plus, I saw this last week. I thought, well, I do need another one. And by the time I was thinking about it, I forgot all about it. And today, luckily, a third off. Yes. So I bought him all. Now finished the job. But also got these small pinks. So I had one of them and all, just to fill the side of one of our beds. One thing that was missing from our bring and buy, because it is a bit late. If you remember, I mentioned last month we're going to bring it a month early next year. Because normally the bring and buys were used to it be flooded out with bedding plants. But by June, most people have got their bedding plants out. And I was going to bring some back home, but there weren't much in. In fact, that's why I get them from Lidl. Sweet peas, and then we've got loop. I've had to put 2 canes at the back and tie them up with string to stop them bowing over.
Heck.
Yes.
I tell what you can buy, and I use for sweet peas, runner beans, all sorts. You can buy nets. They're on Amazon. If you just type in something like, I'll tell you what, I'll send a link. But what you can do where your fence is there.
Yeah.
If you go to the top left-hand corner of the fence,
Mm-hmm.
you can tie in. Just put in some eye hooks there, and all the way along your fence, and down the bottom, and you can put the netting all the way across there, and you can guide your plant all the way through the netting. You don't have to put any string up or anything. Then I'll send a link.
Peanut, But this is the best display we've ever had with these.
Great.
They've gone loop, which is what we want. And a nice bit of colour up that side now. Right, next week's took me 20 minutes to do that. Oh, penny. There will be a bit on in my compost corner, talking about my babbies, which I've done this afternoon, but I ain't got time to put photos on. Now that is what I got out of one tray, this lot here. How are them nice and clean? That is weird. Well, I've just got them out, not just for 3 minutes. That'll be explained next week. There's my babbies, my eggs. Suzanne, you asked a couple of weeks back. Only enough yellow or see-through clear. It's all important stage because you can, but they get clearer and you can see the baby worms inside it. And I know me and Dave went round a worm farm years ago, 2 ex-coppers, and they used to break them open, and you see the worms. But that's what I want: eggs, babies. There could be it, troops. I've got to escape. Right, that's it, people.
Thanks, Mick.
Paul, have you got that chili ready?
I have on here.
Where is
There.
it?
Yeah, will you go back?
There.
No, I won't.
See?
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions for you, Mick.
Hang on.
Okay.
That ain't hot.
Oh, that was on for me.
That was, man.
Oh, yeah. I would have done what you've just done.
Like eating carrot? No eat whatsoever. You wuss.
Can you hear me, Mick?
Stick it in your ear then. Go on, Nick.
I'm off. Bye.
Cheers,
Yeah.
Nick.
Bye.
Right. Mick,
Yes.
a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago, you was planting a, I think it was a bit of a tuber. The plant was called a Gloriosa.
Yeah.
Right. I was looking it up. I don't know. I just mentioned this. I'm sure you might be aware of it, but they're extremely poisonous to dogs.
Yeah.
And, even a little bit of leaf or something it's one of the most poisonous plants there is, even to us. So I don't know if you was aware of it, but I thought I'd mention it. A saying, I did read an article. It said that a dog can, if a dog ingests it, it'll take seconds for him to go.
Keel over.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gloriosa.
There's
Well,
quite a few
tomorrow.
plants like that, unfortunately. Lilies are one of them.
What, that's
Like
severe?
monkshood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yes, Nick.
I think my microphone's playing up, is it?
You've been
What?
better now.
Yeah, it's playing up. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's new as well, which is annoying. Sweet Williams. So I planted some from seed. I've transferred them from 7 centimetre pots into 11. They're growing again. Do I get them in the ground or leave it till next spring?
Get him in the ground.
Something never done.
I'll grow them the one year, and they flower the following year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, just
Yeah.
leaving them in the pots and then getting them in for next year. Because I've got the
Stick 'em in.
summer bedding.
Stick them in the ground now.
I haven't got any room for them at the moment because everything's full up with summer bedding.
They'll be fine.
Might pay you to plant them in the autumn, Mick.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Keep them in the pot now until sort of, when your ground clears, and then put them in position in sort of, October?
Oh, okay,
November,
Colin.
when, towards the end of the year, and then they'll flower next year.
Excellent.
That's what I would have
Nice,
done
sweet
as well,
weather.
Nick.
Thank you
Leave
very
them in the
much.
pots, Nick.
Lovely.
Feed 'em
Here in Belgium, I sow them together with my wallflowers, with my foxgloves and sweet williams, and then just put them in October, November, where they should be.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Second question is, Mick, my chicken straw and muck. At the moment, I'm chucking them in with my compost, which is fine. Do you think I should, for a winter dressing, do you think I should save it or just put it into buckets, leave it out to the elements with rain, and then top dress that through the winter?
I'll leave it up to the elements. The rain washes some of because it's really high. You can't use it straight on your beds, can you?
Chicken and pigeon muck is strong.
It really is strong.
So I'll use it. If I use it in the compost heap, I'll put it in sparingly.
Okay.
Instead
Well,
of
I
being
used to-
big lumps, I dry it out. Then I put it through the shredder.
What I used to do,
So
Nick,
I've got
when I
a
had-
fistful and not a good lump. And it won't be so strong then.
Because this is just general stuff I rake out of the chicken pen and in the coop.
This
At
is
the
what-
moment, I've been chucking it in the compost bin, but I'm thinking I've got sort of 20 buckets, sort of 50 to 100 litre buckets. I put it in there and just leave it out in the rain over winter.
What I did in
No,
mine,
don't do that. Don't do that, Nick. I mean,
Okay.
what I do, I chuck my chicken muck, or I used to chuck the chicken muck straight onto the compost heap, but I'd leave it for a year. Get the compost heap, build it up, and then I'd use that, and then I'd move the compost heap, start a fresh one.
Yeah, I've got 3 bins.
But you've only got half a dozen chickens, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's surprised. Yeah, but I do look after them well.
Yeah. So what happens is there's quite a lot of dressing in there,
Yeah,
and not just muck.
Yeah.
The muck is strong, but if you put that in with your compost and it's actually mixed in, there'll be no problems with it.
Oh, okay. So mix the dressing because I mean
Just mix it all up with your compost.
yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment.
If you have it all 100% chicken muck, you'll burn the roots.
No, I'm not doing that. All my cuttings, well, the chickens are eating all the weeds at the moment, but everything else, like any brown or anything, I chuck it all in there.
Yeah. What you can do as well, if you put on the bottom of the chicken shed, you could use old compost. And what they're doing then, they're scratching around in that, and the muck, and they're defecating in it, and it's actually making it good compost for you.
Like chucking that any old spent compost, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah.
So
Thank
what
you.
they're doing, they're enriching that before you put that on the compost heap.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Have you got a dropping board in your shed?
I forgot what. Sorry.
Have you got a dropping board under the perch?
Yeah, under the perches, I've got a dropping board so I can pull it out from under the coop.
Right. Well, what you do, if you put some coarse sand on that dropping board, it dries the muck out, and if you just get a little onion hoe and just pull it into a bucket every day,
Okay.
and if the sand gets a bit thin, just chuck some more sand down.
Yeah, at the moment I'm using wood saw shavings.
Yes. So as soon as they fly up, that flies everywhere.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So if you use sand, it stays put,
Yeah.
and it also dries it out.
Lovely. Thank
Right.
you.
I'm off, folks. I'll see you next week.
Cheers, Colin.
Bye, Colin.
Don't forget, everybody's had some seed offers. If you got anything growing from the seed, let me have the photos.
Oh, I'm
Cheers,
glad about that,
everybody.
Andy. I wasn't quite sure what I was if I was doing right or wrong. But if I'm mixing it in, diluting it down with everything else, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, all what your compost is, it's a little bit of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it works wonders like that.
Don't forget your carbon, Nick. Shredded paper, egg boxes.
Yeah, cool. I'll keep the egg boxes.
Oh, you do.
Mick,
Yes, Jeff.
do you have time for one more question?
Yeah, of course we have.
You know, the composting you do, it's not hot composting, is it?
No.
How do we do hot composting on big mass? I've got
Well, I've got to
the
go. Take
water
care.
buckets
Cheers, Nick.
and the water troughs in cages.
Yeah.
So I cut out the top, the front, and the bottom. Put that on the ground, and I want to use that for hot composting. How do I start it?
For hot composting, you've got to be able to turn it, but it's got to be sealed. So the four sides, the more you can seal it in, the better. So it keeps in the heat. Plus, you've got to have a lid on it. That stops the heat from escaping. There's only two people I've seen who hot compost, and one of them was John Brannan. He's got loads of land. He's got a gardener to turn it for him, who turns it with a digger. If you hot compost, you won't get any worms. That's why I don't hot compost. I want worms because they'll do my digging. But if you hot compost, it's only the middle that's cooking.
Yeah.
Meaning you've got to turn it.
How often?
I think he turns it about every 10 days. And then you've got to water it again. So it starts cooking again.
And is it the same in layers to start?
I think it does. Works his way up, yeah. But he gets quite a bit of. He's got loads of land. I think he had 4 bays when we was down there, so that they fill up quite quick. But he gets exactly the same as what I get. He top dresses all his beds and his whatever he's got, orchard, whatever, with his end product, and he gets exactly the same as what I get. Tomato seedlings coming through. So even though you hot compost and it gets bloody hot, nothing kills off tomato seeds.
I don't mind the tomato seeds, but the other seeds have a bit of a nuisance.
That's John's open garden this Tuesday night.
I'm down there soon, getting a talk.
Yeah, well, Tuesday night is the open night at John's house this year.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you doing the talk down this end, Mick?
Hey?
Whereabouts are you doing the talk down this end?
It's down his place where they have their meetings. I've got it downstairs.
I know where it is because I go to it at Wingrave.
Oh, it rings a bell.
Yeah, when are you there?
I'll bung it on next week.
Oh, okay.
I'll put an update on my talk. So. Jeffrey, was your question answered?
Yeah, it was.